am now sideways. Okay. G'day and welcome to Survival Impossible. This is the start of a new survival series that's going to be running in single player. This has a whole bunch of mods that are designed to make the survival experience more challenging and hopefully a little more engaging for me. I've designed it around a playstyle that I personally like, so we'll see how much that means I'm going to die. One of the early things that I'm going to have to deal with is the fact that ice no longer produces as much oxygen, and that means I'm going to have to collect quite a bit of it to keep myself alive. Right, so this is a modified alien planet, and I've just done something really, really dumb. I should not have gotten out of that seat. That seat had some stuff in it that I need, like my tools. Oh, and as you may notice from my HUD, the planetary gravity here is quite high. It is 1.9 Gs, so I need to be mindful of that so that I don't fall off somewhere and injure myself. My jetpack is not going to be very effective, so I'm not going to carry around that hydrogen bottle. It's some space in my inventory that I would rather give up to something else, and I'm going to take the other one out of the O2H2 generator and pop it in this seat too. There we go. Now, first off, let's get our tools on our hotbar. And I need to head down to that ice down there. Ow! See what I mean? That gravity is harsh. Need to be really careful walking down these ruts, because these ruts are a great way to fall unexpectedly. Now, normally when I start a survival game, I go straight for the stone, because I need stone to build stuff from my survival kit. And that is still true here, but if I want to be able to breathe long enough to be able to get that stone, I'm going to need a whole bunch of ice first. So kind of my goal for today is to remove my dependency on ice. And the way I'm going to do that is by getting myself a vent and an oxygen tank. Because if I get a vent and an oxygen tank, I'll be able to compress the current planetary atmosphere down and get myself some... Oh, which way did I come from? Down here. And be able to get myself some nice concentrated oxygen in a tank, which will save me the effort of having to mine this out every time. Oh dear. Am I able to climb back up this way? That doesn't look promising. I think I'm going to have to crawl all the way around. Something else you guys might have noticed, especially if you've played with the Daily Needs mod, is a little thing in the top left of my HUD. I now have a bar for hunger, a bar for thirst, and a bar for exhaustion. So I need to be mindful of all three of those things so I don't die. There we go, that kind of works. I think we don't need to work out a better path to get to and from that ice, because that's quite difficult. I wonder if I could kind of roll this thing down the hill a bit, make it a bit closer. Would be handy. Oh, crap, I always do that. Fill up the O2H2 gen too much and then don't have anything left to put the bottle in. Alright, I'll go get one more load of ice, and then I am going to try and roll this thing down the hill a little bit. I think it's worth taking the chance that things could go horribly wrong, because if I can get closer to that ice, I'm going to save myself a whole lot of time. Ow. Oh, right. Tiredness. Whoops. I was sprinting too much. Ow, 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 ow. Yes. Let me just crouch here. Oh. Didn't mean to put my jetpack on. Baromus in there. Oh, should not have been sprinting so much. If I can get around to the seat, I will get my exhaustion back quicker. So to roll this thing down the hill, I'm going to need to make sure I turn off the auto lock on this landing gear. Then see which bits are stopping it from moving. And hope I don't crush myself as well, because that could very much be a thing. Is it stuck on? A little bit more movement. Oh, there we go. That was a bit more. This will totally be worth it if it works. Ow! No! On my head! Bad. Bad, bad. Let me out. Okay, there we go. That was a bit more movement. Don't want to be stuck in all these ravines. They're so hard to navigate. It's just going to cost me so much time. This is taking forever. totally going to be worth it though. I promise. I know it. I just know it. Ow. Yep, it's on my head again. Much closer are we? Not really. I just made it like... maybe I made it about 10 meters. Still, I think I can do this. I need to stop sprinting. I need to break that habit. That sprinting habit is going to kill me one day. Oh. Oh dear, my O2 is getting low. This could be a problem. This could be a big problem. Let me out, let me out, let me out. I don't care about the exhaustion. That's fine. That'll kill me much slower. Yep. Refill my oxygen. Refill it. Come on. Oh. Where's my survival kit? Around here. There we go. Ooh, that was a little too close. Now, one of the things I can't do, given the mods that I've chosen to play with in this scenario, is I can't just grind down stuff and replace it and move it because I've got the AwwScrap mod on. What that mod means is that if I grind down anything, I get scrap, just like the way you get scrap from power cells in the vanilla game. Every single item gives me scrap, and I can't use the survival kit to get rid of that scrap. So if I grind down something now, I am completely unable to use it. And yes, I'm just ignoring the exhaustion thing at the moment, hoping that it's not going to be a big issue and it only injures me quite slowly, which is fortunate. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay, that moved a bit quicker than I had previously. How much further do I have to go? So far. I really want to get out of this stuff though. I had envisaged this rolling a lot more smoothly down this hill than it currently is. Yeah, a little more like that. So my main goal for today is to get a basic assembler built, and from that make the components I need to be able to build an oxygen tank onto the little survival pod. Once I can do that, I can concentrate some oxygen from the atmosphere, and then I won't need to mine ice constantly in order to breathe. And that will save me a lot of time, and then hopefully my industry will take off because I'll be able to focus on mining stone. Am I going to be able to make that? I don't know if I am. Oh, ow! Oh, I'm lucky I didn't get injured then. Also, I think I've kind of dug this into a hole. It's not much further to go. That is a much more direct walk than I had when I started this, but I think I can still do better. Now, normally what I would have done in vanilla was build a gyroscope onto this early on, but I don't have the parts needed for that. And I can't get them because if I grind down something like this thruster, I don't get the large steel tube, so I can't then build a gyroscope from that large steel tube. Which means everything that I need to survive, I have to make from scratch. I can't use parts that I salvage. Unless I use merge blocks and things like that. So that's going to make for a fairly interesting style of building, I feel. Especially once I start getting to the point where I can actually interact with some of the NPC mods that I've got active on this save already. Ow. Oh, jeez. Okay, that made some progress. Oh, we're not far now. I'm not going to release this from the rocks entirely, because if I do that, it'll probably tumble the whole way down the hill. Oh dear. Oh, what the? No, you're not supposed to still be on. Still be off, because for some reason you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. That's not too bad. Is it? I drill out a little bit of here. And I can kind of walk out this way. Walk back in. That's not too difficult. If I just clear out a little bit of this space around here so that I can access all sides of this thing, I can be pretty happy. Then we can start working on our base proper. If I can get that landing gear locked would be nice too. It's ready to lock. That's pretty close to the edge of this area. Landing gear. Lock. Okay, now we're not going to fall any further, and now I can clear out my way around this thing. So I can get at all the bits, because having it so crookedly sideways was making it really difficult for getting to the O2H2 gen and the survival kit. Now, one of the first things I need to do is get myself some food and water. Water, obviously, primary concern now that I've dealt with helping my oxygen situation. So, to deal with the water situation, I'm going to need a survival thingamajig that I can't think of the name of right now. Emergency rations, that's the one. We need to get an emergency rations dispenser so that I can make some ice, so that I can make some water, and then I can also make some food rations packets once I've got some of that water. But you can see my water level is down to 40, so that is really high priority right now, because it is going to take a long time for that emergency rations dispenser to deal with any ice and turn it into drinkable water. You might think it's strange to leave unknown signals on in a survival mode that's supposed to be quite difficult, but if you've noticed how quickly my oxygen goes down, there's no way on Earth I'm ever getting to any unknown signal before I run out of oxygen with my current situation. So really, all I've done is set the system up to taunt me, to make me want to go but know that I can't. Alright, so what I need to do is, I think the best spot for this will be up here, because this will be piped in. If I get rid of the parachute hatch, and you'll see now what I've got in my inventory, which is all this scrap, then I should be able to place the food rations dispenser in there. And we should be able to build it like so. And then right click with my welder on the block, and then shift middle mouse on the survival kit, and that'll get me everything queued up that I need. Now, how much do I need? I need to get a bit more iron and a bit more nickel, so I'm going to need to mine a little bit, which is conveniently easy since I'm right in the middle of a whole bunch of rock. So let's drop these into this chair as well, since it's my current storage for everything I don't need right at the moment. Now that I'm a little better set up, I think it's time to talk about a lot of the things that I've changed for this scenario. I have made the jetpack next to useless. It will still function, which means it'll still work in space, but it's not going to be strong enough to stop me from dying from a fall, unless that fall is fairly short. Obviously, with higher gravity on this planet that I'm on, we're going to have a much higher chance of smacking into the ground with a force that is enough to kill me. So I'm going to have to be very careful not to fall off things, which is kind of funny because I'm going to fall off more things because I have to climb stuff. I can't use my jetpack to just fly up and do whatever I need to do. I'm going to actually have to be building scaffolding and all that sort of stuff so that I can climb up to the top of towers and I can do things like that. It's something that I kind of have wanted to do for a very, very long time, as I know how much of a design challenge it adds to the game. And the gravity on this planet is actually more about a design challenge for me, because it doesn't stop me from building atmospheric vehicles, ones that can fly. What it does do, however, is make those vehicles much less efficient. So they're going to cost a lot of power to run. Anything that flies is going to be super expensive to run. And that's going to probably push me towards using wheeled vehicles, as, you know, I want to do anyway. But I'll give it a more legitimate feel for why I'm doing that. Yeah, how are we going? We got everything? Yes. Alright. Can I still get up there from this way? Yeah, good. Weld this up. Then we can start producing some water, hopefully before I die of thirst. So some of the other changes I've made are that I have reduced the amount of stuff you get from stone. I've also changed the way that stone is processed. So instead of stone being able to be processed by everything, it is now only processed by the survival kit and the basic refinery. The advanced refinery with its upgrade modules and everything like that can't process stone. The reason I did that was, with the introduction of stone being able to be refined, I found that there was very little reason for us to ever go exploring for iron, for nickel, or for silicon. You just built a giant drill rig into the ground and you drilled as much stone as you possibly could. And that took away some of the reason to actually go anywhere. Because the other stuff that you mine, like silver, gold, platinum, etc., once you get a single load of that in a decent sized ship, you kind of don't need to collect any for ages. It stopped a lot of the drive to move. That drive to go out and collect stuff so you can just sit at your base comfortable and collect as much resources as possible. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to make it so that that game loop was played a little bit differently, a little bit more like it used to be, but still being able to get something from stone if you wanted to. Also, one of the side effects of getting rid of stone processing from the big refinery is now basic refineries have a function for the whole game. Because they're the most effective way of doing a thing, you will probably want to have them even after you've gotten proper refineries. Hadn't quite figured out a way to make basic assemblers useful yet, but that's something I'm considering and will happily mod and change as this series progresses if I get any suggestions for ideas that will work that way, or if I come up with any myself. And this mod is already available on the workshop. You can play with it yourself, and soon I will be posting this survival start scenario so that you can drop in this pod pretty much exactly where I have, if you'd like to. You might need to be a little bit crazy to do that. Okay, I'm collecting some resources now so that I can start the base that I want to build. The initial base is going to be something very, very simple. All we need is a bit of a tower for a wind turbine and somewhere to put a basic assembler. To continue on the discussion of what's changed in this scenario, the engineer uses a lot more oxygen. As you probably noticed, I am seriously struggling to keep up with my oxygen consumption. And that's because I'm using it up really quickly, but also because I'm getting very little oxygen from each bit of ice that I deliver. So one of the blocks in the game that I find I almost never use is the oxygen farm. And that's because it's so easy to get oxygen otherwise. And I almost never use oxygen tanks because it's so easy to get oxygen from ice. I kind of wanted to make both of those useful. I also wanted to make pressurized spaces useful. So what I've done is, hopefully, at least for my own levels of sanity, made the level of consumption high enough that I will want to build inside a pressurized environment whenever possible. Right now, I can reasonably manage to keep refilling my O2 bottles, but it is a bit of a hassle. I can't go very far, I can't do very much before I have to refill. So if I'm in that situation, I'm going to want to pressurize a space so that I don't have to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I can just work. So that means I'm going to build things like pressurized garages, pressurized hangars, all these big pressurized spaces in which to build my vehicles. And I think that'll be pretty cool to feel like I need those, that I'm not just doing them for my own aesthetic pleasure. To feel like it's actually making a difference at a gameplay level, I think would be kind of cool. And then what I need is, let's get 10 steel plate, actually 20, and we'll need a couple of interior plate as well. Once we've got those, I'm going to start laying out the initial, well, survival base. I'm going to build it out here, I think. Maybe... where have I got a nice view? I kind of want to build up on top of that hill, because if I take a chance now, and I'm just going to do a quick little run up here and show you something that you probably saw at the intro, which ooh, there's magnesium in that rock. That's very handy. It's this. That has got to be one of the best views in Space Engineers. With a gas giant just over the horizon, I am totally building so that I can take advantage of that view. Because that view is just spectacular. But obviously, can't really see myself running up and down this hill to build onto this base. So I'm going to build a temporary base right down here next to the lander. And once we're a bit mobile and have a bit more resources, then I'll move to the nice scenic spot. For now, we'll just have to make do with this valley. Let's go with here. I want to try and get this reasonably high. Can I place another one on top? Yep, sweet. Now I have to build ramps. Because if I want to get any higher, I actually need to climb up there. Tempted to do this with aesthetics, but I probably won't. At least not initially. Oh, I don't have catwalks yet. Once I have the catwalk stairs, then I'll try and use stairs on these things. No! Dang it! I placed the wrong block. That's so wasteful. Drat. So annoying. Every time I place the wrong block, I waste resources. Which is going to be a whole new way to play Space Engineers. Now, can I fix this? And hopefully in fixing this, I will unlock some stuff. Good. What have I unlocked? Alright, that gave me the cockpits and things. So I'm going to need to build a cargo container as well. In fact, maybe I should do the cargo container before I focus on that. How much do I need for that? Okay, I need a whole lot of iron, but I've got everything else. Cool. Well, let's do it. It also probably makes a bit of sense to build this in as a large cargo container because I'm going to be stuck using small grid until I find any cobalt. Because without cobalt, I'm not going to be able to build the grids I need to build any form of large grid storage. So having something bigger is definitely going to be useful. Plus at the moment, my mining is actually time limited by the amount of space in the survival kit. I can't dump enough stuff in to keep up with the pace that I can actually mine. Put some food in here. And I'm okay for that for a little while now. Dump my grey waste in the chair. Just kind of gross, but it works. Now I have to make absolutely sure that this is connected. It looks like it is. Because I do not want to waste that interior plate. This is what I mean by being rate limited by the survival kit. I'm trying to dump off stuff and I don't have anywhere to put it. So I'm having to gradually, slowly put it into the survival kit at the rate that it deals with it. So you can kind of get an idea of just how much ice I'm going through by the size of this hole. This is all being used just by me breathing. Just very unrealistic, but from a gameplay point of view, it's really pushing me to do things in ways that I didn't anticipate when I was first thinking about this. And it's also pushing me to do things that I would not normally have done. Like I wouldn't have cared how close I was to ice. Alright, let's climb back up that tower and see how much higher we can go before I run out. Have I got some... No, I don't have any interior plate left on me. I want to try and get this pretty high as I have reduced the amount of power you get from wind turbines. So I want to do my best to get at least something decent out of it. Yeah, I'm going to need to make a platform. Oh jeez. Don't fall off. Don't fall off from here. I will die. I do that, I should be able to, from here, place the turbine down. Yes, large cargo container! Nice. Now I can do this. Yay! Can mine as quickly as my hand drill can allow me. And the survival kit can just do stuff while I'm off getting stuff like ice. And I'm very glad I went with the large, because I think I pretty much put in there the amount of stuff it would take to fill a medium. Also, my oxygen is about to be very low, so I need to stop doing this. Please tell me I've got some ice in here. Yes, good. Make some more ice so I don't leave myself without any. Then I can build the turbine. Wind turbine. Object menu is clear. I wonder... would it be worth doing... Oh, we'll see how much power we get from that. Because I may be able to stick one sideways onto the tower. Like, if I put one there... Can't go up there, but if I put one there, it should still be able to walk under it and it will generate more power from this same tower. Need to have basic assembler with cargo accessible. So that's the next thing to build after we've finished this turbine, and hopefully when this turbine produces enough power to actually run that thing. Okay, we have the parts. And I'm not going to be able to tell how much power is produced until I build them. I have to build like a control panel or something. I may as well just build the basic assembler. Alright. Fine. Be that way, game. Ugh. Seems my wind nerf might have been effective, because that thing is not spinning very fast at all. I reduced the amount of wind on this planet when I made it, while I also reduced the amount of ores present here. So the ores on this planet are very different. The ores on the remainder of the planets up there are pretty similar to what you would find in the procedural ores pack by Lemmiwinks, which is the... In fact, I'm actually using Lemmiwinks' exact one, so it's exactly what you'd find. And this planet is fairly similar to what you'd find on the Earth-like with that mod active. There will be a link in the description for all the mods that I'm using, so you can go find them and play with them yourself. Oh, that's going to take a while. 687 iron needed. I'm getting like just a bit over 1, or am I getting... Yeah, I'm getting like 1.1 per 100. Oh, that's going to take a long while. Ew. I don't think there's much else I can do except for wait for that to happen. And just keep collecting stuff. Collecting all of the stone. Right, well, back at it then. Oh, if I thought I could make it to that unknown signal, I totally would. Bye-bye. How far that'll roll. Keeps looking like it's about to stop. I guarantee if I tried to walk 4 kilometers, I would run out of oxygen in my 2 bottles before I even got most of the way there. So exploration without an oxygen supply is going to be something I'm not going to do. I will need to have an ongoing replenishable oxygen supply if I'm going to go exploring anywhere. How is our power situation? 2 hours of power. Right. That's scary. That is with the survival kit operating at max power usage though. Oh dear. If I can get that assembler up, yeah, then I can build some power cells, and that'll give me what I need to be able to... Yeah. That'll work. I can build power cells, and then I can build a battery on the... I'll probably build another battery on this thing, I reckon. First, to get it a bit more power. Sun is setting. Spent most of the first day trying to get this basic assembler built. Those of you who've seen me play before would know how easily I tend to get distracted while building, and how easily I forget about my hydrogen while using a jetpack. So you can imagine how terrified I am right now of the fact that if I forget my oxygen, I will suffocate in seconds. So if I run down to the point where I've got no bottle left, I think I've probably got about 45 seconds before I die, if I don't get back to an oxygen source. Which is very, very short. There we go, we're on to our suit only. And you can see how quickly that is going down. Have some ice here. Let's quickly get these filled. And that will keep me alive. For now. I was very tempted to do this playthrough in a Minecraft hardcore style, so 1 life, only 1 life. If I die, it's over. Given how long I survived in survival, maybe that would be theoretically possible to do. Though I have made this much more difficult. I decided not to do that though, because I think I'd just get really annoyed. That first time I die, I'm going to be so ropeable with myself anyway. If I also have to delete my save and throw everything away, oh, I'd be fuming. And it would, while adding a lot of terror to it, to the game, and adding a lot of value and importance to what's to your engineer. So basically you can't go in and attack anything on foot. You must use remote controlled vehicles, that sort of thing. I think it'd take away from the engineering. There'd be so much caution that I wouldn't risk doing stuff with pistons and rotors, because if they exploded, I'm done. So having said all of that, what's my goal for this series? Well, it's probably the worst time of day for me to try and point this out, but if I climb up this tower and we get a decent-ish view of the sky up there. Alright. So, using the drill as a pointer, that's a planet. That's a moon. That's a planet. Somewhere up there, and I can't really remember where, which is going to make it interesting. Somewhere up there, there is an Earth-like planet. There is a home. There is a place for me to go to, a place for me to settle. To get there, and it is a long way away, to get there, I'm going to need to actually get to space, actually build jump drives and do all that sort of stuff. So while I am going to build a nice base on this planet, because I'm going to need a safe platform to come back to if I go to space and I get smashed to pieces by drones, I need somewhere to come back to that's safe. My plan for this series is to get to that Earth-like. When I get to that Earth-like planet, that's it. I've won. We'll decide what we do at that point, whether I start something new if I've got another new idea, or whether we continue and play around with this scenario to make it a bit more interesting. But that's a long way in the future. For the moment, it's about surviving on the alien planet and getting myself to space so that I can get more resources that are not available here. Because there are numerous resources that are not available on this planet. Okay, let's climb down before I run out of power and oxygen. Now that it's night, I'm probably going to need to stop this thing from blinking its lights. Exterior light. Blink interval off. Radius 10 meters. There we go. Nice and bright. Oh dear. No, fill it. Ah! No. No. Bad. Fill my oxygen. Fill it quickly. I don't have enough ice. This could be bad. This could be very bad. Please let me some ice in here. No, dang it. Quick. As quickly as I can. I need to get some ice. I need to get it into those bottles. I'm in seriously big trouble. 71. Oh man. Oh, right, now it fills, of course. Why didn't it fill before? Oh, and I could have stolen the ice from the emergency rations. All that panic for nothing. That is annoying. Alright, fine. I will now collect some more ice so that I don't have that panic again. And I will do my very best to remember that I do have ice in the emergency rations dispenser, which is my emergency, oh no, I'm going to die ice for making oxygen from. Oh, that's going to bug me. Every time I use the Alt middle mouse to dump everything, I am going to dump everything food and water-wise. I wonder if there's a way to get into the build planner and change what it drops. But we have got a basic assembler, so that doesn't matter for now. Alright, basic assembler. How much power am I getting from this turbine? Oh, max output 108 kilowatts. That is a problem. I'm going to need three at that level of power to be able to have enough to run that assembler at all. Because I can't make battery parts from here, meaning that it really is the only way for me to do it. There's no other option. Right. Well, I'll definitely be able to add one to... Maybe I'll try and add a turbine to each side of the tower and see if that'll just get me to 280 kilowatts. So this is where I was thinking one could go. So if I go like... Oh, wait a second. What Yeah, hang on. Better idea. Rather than sticking it straight on the side, I'm going to go get a couple of extra steel plates, and I think I should be able to push them out further, and that way also get it higher. See, this is the sort of thing that I'm really excited about with AwwScrap and mods like that, is that I really have to think about what I'm doing here. I need to plan ahead, carefully consider, and then execute. So if I place that like so, and I crouch so I don't fall off, I should be able to get out and place turbine there. Yes. Alright, now also, I should be able to do the same here. And out we go. And another one there. So once I've got those 3 built, hopefully that's enough. If it's not, I should be able to put like a slope block in like this. I'll still be able to climb up this ramp, but I'll be able to attach something out to the left. But ow! How did I not die? Oh, that's so lucky. Oh man. Okay, note to self. Cannot walk out like that. Don't try that again, Splitsie. That was very dangerous. So walk up here, then I'm going to... Yeah, let's use one of these. The right way? Yeah. Like so. And then another one, like so. And then I should be able to walk out and weld these things. So, clear my build planner, add that, add that. Alright, let's go get these parts built. Get this assembler running. Get ourselves an oxygen tank. I don't know what I'm going to do for my first mining vehicle, but that's going to be high on my list of priorities, because mining this much stone by hand is not going to be practical once I'm building anything larger than what I've already started. I mean, it's even feeling impractical for a lot of what I'm doing right now. So the sooner I get any sort of mining vehicle, something a little reminiscent of the Ugly Duckling is probably the way I'm going to go. Something super cheap to build. That's going to be really early on. The trouble is, power production is such a difficult prospect that if I'm going to have a flying mining ship, I'm going to chew through my power like nobody's business. So maybe I need to think of something creative and wield. I wonder what I can come up with. Have a couple of crazy ideas, but I'm going to need to put a bit more time into them to figure out exactly how to pull it off. There's a really crazy idea that if I can pull it off will be epically ridiculous, that I kind of want to try, but we'll see how we go. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I didn't notice my oxygen. I didn't notice my oxygen. This is bad. Come on. Come on. Give me a bit more. Just a bit more. This is so slow. This is so slow. Ah. Bad, 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 Splitsie. What are you doing? Oh. Ow. Alright. Ice, ice, ice time. This is what I was afraid of. That I would get so distracted so easily that I would totally forget some of these basics. And that that real chance of dying when you run out of O2, where compared to the normal where you have to be a long, 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 long way from home to really worry about your O2. Right now, it's easy for me to die. Even though it doesn't cost you anything in Space Engineers, really, I am still going to make every single attempt not to. Because I think it makes it a lot more exciting when you fear for your life. And you treat it like it's something that's valuable rather than something that doesn't really matter. This ice pit is getting so big. It's going to be this massive scar in the side of the mountain just from me breathing. One of the reasons I added the daily needs mod to this scenario was not so much to make things more difficult in terms of the survival aspect, but actually to make things more interesting in the engineering aspect. Because I am going to need to eat and drink I'm going to need to bring with me whenever I travel either large stores of food and water or the means to produce it. And for any large grid vehicle, that's going to mean some extra blocks that are on board and some extra space that needs to be considered, some extra weight that needs to be considered. And when you're talking about a planet that has 1.9 Gs of gravity, weight is going to add a considerable engineering challenge, because I need to have enough thrust and enough fuel for that thrust. So I'm kind of anticipating that I'm going to fail on at least 1 or 2 launches from this planet, because I have no idea how much thrust is going to be needed to get something off the ground and all the way to space here. I just honestly don't know. Which, as you can probably tell from my voice, kind of excites me. It's taking me back to how I used to feel when I first started playing Space Engineers, when I didn't know how things worked, when I didn't know how to do stuff, when I didn't know how to make massive things that just happened to not explode. The thrill, it is real. Something I was just thinking about, and I honestly can't remember, is I don't know if I kinda might have maybe not put any silver on this planet. And if I haven't, then the survival kit that's on that drop pod is the only one I get until I get off this planet. So I'm going to need to basically hook it up to this main base with a rotor. Like, that's honestly going to be the only way I can make that work, which is sort of terrifying, but also sort of cool. 108, 108. Yes! Okay. It is working. Right, so I need tanks and rats. What do I need to build to get a tank? Oxygen tank. O2H2 generator. Alright. No! Ah! Oh, dang it! That is not okay. Ah, that is not what was supposed to happen. My mouse stuck. I ground down a lot more than I meant to. It's infuriating. Okay, now we should be able to build tanks. Where do I want to place this thing as well? Because if I place it over here, the tank doesn't actually have accessible ports on those small ports that are on the back of it. But I think it does have an accessible port on its big port. I don't need the bottles to be able to transfer through, so maybe what I want is to place it here. Or like that. Because then I'll be able to access it. And then I can put a vent on top of the tank there to do it, to fill this. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, that's enough. We got it! Yes! Come on. This is a small thing, but so valuable a thing. Make me my pipes. I hope there's nothing fancy that goes into vents. I'm pretty sure there isn't. Oh, hang on. I need to turn you off once I fill my bottles. Control panel off. Because I don't want to use up my ice. Not that I have any use for the ice. Aside from that, vent. Oh, what? That's a fair bit. What? Jeez, the jump is weird in this high graph. It feels really strange. Okay, we have a vent. And I'm producing more stuff than I need to be. So I might just cancel them. Alright, with a vent, we can go control panel. Where's our vent? Vent. Yeah, vent. Depressurize, on. Oxygen tank. It's filling! So now, instead of mining for this, all I got to do is pop those in there and they will fill. Ah, that's heaps better. So much better. Bottle almost empty. Bottle immediately full. Oh, I love this so much. Well, I think this is a good point for me to end today, since it kind of is the end of the day. It's dark out. I've managed to get an oxygen tank with a vent set up, and the oxygen tank is slowly filling, but it is filling, and it's filling without me having to mine any more ice, which is fantastic because I was getting really sick of that. Managed to get some decent cargo storage. We are going to have to figure out something to do with the battery here because it is fully depleted in 3 hours, which is not terribly long. That is one more day-night cycle, so gonna have to really think about that one. It's kind of in a ditch, so I don't think solar panels are going to be hugely effective, but I'll probably put at least one on there anyway. And for the rest of the next day, I think the aim should be to try and get more of the critical parts onto this temporary base here. Once we've got that set up, then I can think about how I'm going to become mobile and get myself towards some more useful resources and things like that. So, there's all that, and plenty more to come, and I will see you then.